Hello. Are you getting my voice?
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry for delay team. Unfortunately, it has happened. I don't know why. These are all because. Okay. I hope you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Let me drag and drop my HTTP listener. Okay. Before that, let me give you the heads up over these things. Okay. A HTTP connector will have two main parts. Okay. Listener and requester. Okay. So listener always listens the request, which it means always reads the information from the remote system. Okay. Remote system can be anything over the internet. Okay. At the same time, if you want to send any request to third party system, you can use request. Not only third party system, okay, within the system also or within the flow also. Sometimes whichever the service is exposed on particular location, okay, normally every HTTP connector will listen on specific address. Okay, that address where will you define, like our home addresses and all. Okay, so if you see, this HTTP connector is requires the addresses. Okay, this is called either by your IP address. Okay, for suppose I can define ipconfig. Okay, you can define your IP address, this IP address, or 127.0.0.0.1 or 0.0.0.0 or localhost. Okay, if you call, if you want to call my services, you have to initiate, you have to use this IP addresses. Okay, by using these IP addresses, sorry, in this IP address, I am listening all your requests. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail about this HTTP listener. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, and requester, there is a huge noise and background team. Can you please be unmute? Okay, thank you. So this requester, which will send the information on particular address. Okay, for suppose you have a order, that order, if you want to receive, you have to give your home address, right? The same way, this is just assume that this requester is Amazon. If you want to send a parcel or a order to your home address, you need a address, right? This guy needs your address. That address you have to mention under HTTP requester. Okay, and this load HTTP resource, where will you use? Normally you will use this thing to send a report. Okay, like HTTP HTML pages, normally any other projects, you need to send a reports to business users, right? So that report can be mostly in HTML pages. You can use the static resource, load static resource. There you need to mention all the HTML pages. Okay, like they say, and resource based path and basic security filter, which will use it to authenticate all the requests, whichever the authenticated requests, those requests only will be allowed to process within your flow. Okay, so as part of today's class, we will explain, I will explain you listener, and going forward our sessions, I will explain the remaining concepts. Okay, so let me show you this name, any name you can give it. Okay, for example, HTTP listener, which it can be useful to identify based on the name. For suppose, if you're using this HTTP listener for the orders, okay, then you can give as a display name. Now, if you see over here, okay, it is clearly showing this HTTP listener will be going to use for only orders. Okay, it is easy to recognize by seeing your flows. Okay, then go to the connector configuration, select the plus button, okay, over here, and choose your default configuration information. I will explain you in a while, or we'll see going forward classes. I will explain you TLS, advanced, and protocols with respect to that. Okay. So this is the default configuration. Let me explain you the metadata type and MIME types first. Okay. Before that, let me explain the global connector, why it is required to be configured over here. Okay. So team, whatever you generated the configuration information, normally it will be visible under the global elements. Okay, as part of real-time project, you are not going to mention all those global configuration elements under the global elements. Normally you will move these configurations into the domain project. We will discuss in coming sessions. Okay, each and every project has to be linked with the domain projects. That domain project will contain all the common configuration informations. Okay, then so once you pointed your global connect your domain project, automatically the connector configuration related uh, things will be shown under drop down. Okay, now you can ask me a question, what is this path? So each and every home, it's required a separate path, like different routes are there, right? The same way. Okay, that is the way, or maybe you can use the path to identify requests, to send the request only specific paths. Okay, so for C, if you see over here, as we seen, I think yesterday, or I don't know when we talked with the same. Okay, for suppose I have what else, okay, let me check the go to meeting, something else. Okay, uh, so if you click over here, this is the base path. Okay, if you click on the futures, futures is your general path. Okay, pricing is your general path. Okay, now you can see meeting under pricing. Okay, the features, if you last time you seen, instead of meetings you seen the features. Okay, those are called as general path and base path. Okay, so let me tell you the MIME types. As you are reading the requests from the different locations, sorry, whichever the request which you received from the different systems, all the times that request may contain bodies. Those bodies can be XML or JSON or anything else. For see, if you see, this body information can be XML type or JSON type or HTML, anything else, right? So there is a predefined configuration. For example, if you use this XML, okay, you are assuming that you are getting the XML data. So to fulfill your requirement, for example, already you created a business logic. Okay, but as per your business logic, null values you configured as blank. Okay, but you may get non values or empty records. Okay, which it mean every XML file and nodes may contain the blank values. Okay, for example, Srikanth is a tag, and end tag is Srikanth beginning tag and end tag. Maybe in between, zero or null or empty or blank. Okay, so to make it readable or to make it fulfill your business requirement, okay, you need to configure these parameters. Okay, to make it easy your life, which it mean instead of rewriting all your configuration again and again, if you configure this way, okay, automatically it will transform into your uh, understand, I mean say, your suitable business logic transformation. Okay, the second thing is the encoding. So each and every request which is coming from the different locations, okay, so by using the encoding and decoding formats, okay, normally UTF-16 and UTF-18 which will be used. Okay, these encodings will help to read the content in a proper manner. Okay, some of the encoding patterns will support some unique Unicode characters, some of them it won't support Unicode characters. Okay, like for suppose maybe I'm not able to remember that some XML formats, if you see which it maintains the Unicode 88. If it is a Unicode 16, it will support like some of the external characters which is not even supported by any other sorry, UTF-8. For example, recently in India we introduced the rupee symbol, right? Like that, some of the symbols it won't be even recognized. Okay, so to be recognized you need to configure these MIME types. So once you configure the MIME types, your business logic will be smooth. Okay, and redelivery attempts. Why these redelivery attempts? When we use these redelivery attempts, okay, as part of request and response from the external system, you will get only one time. You won't keep on getting the requests from the external system. For suppose, if you place an order on Amazon, that order related information has to go to the brands. For example, you are going to purchase a Samsung phone. Okay. That Samsung phone related information has to go to the brands. But brands website, if you didn't configure for the redelivery attempts, redelivery policy, what will happens? The request you will receive, that is fine. In between, if you face any exception, for suppose, once you got the request, you need to process into the database. If the database is throwing any exception, okay, if you didn't catch that exception, what will happens? You won't send any response back to the Amazon. So Amazon felt that already I passed the request, I sent the request. That request, sorry, Amazon will send the request and wait for the response. If didn't get any response, it will assumes that service is not working, or maybe it will felt that service is working fine and order also placed successfully if you didn't configure your exception handling properly. Okay, so this redelivery policy, what will happen is it will receive only one time request until unless this request gets succeed. It will keep on sends the it will keep on initiate the request again and again. For suppose, at the beginning of your flow, enter your process logic. If anything is fail, from here onwards it will start again. Okay, it will reinitiate the request without getting any request from the third party system. Okay, and that is the main intent. Okay, until unless it will sends the keep on messages until unless maximum redelivery count. Okay, so how will you identify the redelivery count? Maybe if you mention -1, it will keep on sends until unless it is got successful. Okay, by using the redelivery expression, either by error.description equal to http or database connector issue, okay, database connection fail. Okay, by that way, if it is successful, then it won't read, it will redeliver